This is without a doubt the most requested video that I've ever gotten requests for to make on social media. So today we are going to break down what these 7 masculine archetypes are. The first masculine archetype I want to talk about is the warrior, which is embodied by the Greek god Ares. Warrior archetype men feel their emotions very deeply. They are both lovers and fighters. They are very passionate. I think of the warrior as the first guy that's going to jump into a bar fight because his best friend or his girlfriend needed defending for whatever reason, and he's not going to ask questions, he's just going to jump right into it. The next masculine archetype is the protector, which is embodied by the Greek god Hades. And protector archetype men are a little bit self-isolating. They are very in touch with the darker aspects of the human psyche and darker emotions. He doesn't really care much about like the outside world in any way, shape, or form. Next, we have the father archetype man, which is embodied by the Greek god Poseidon. The father archetype man really wants to settle down and have a family more than anything in his life. So this is the guy that's like really into homesteading. He wants the white picket fence. He wants the golden retriever. They're very traditional. They're very grounded. They often like working with their hands, and they don't really seek any kind of external validation. They're just very focused on creating a family unit. The fourth masculine archetype I want to talk about is the king, which is embodied by the Greek god Zeus. King archetype men like to be the big dogs in the room. These are your stereotypical alpha males. They are the CEOs. They are the leaders of communities. They want power and status more than anything. They are large and in charge, and they're oftentimes incredibly successful. The next masculine archetype is the messenger archetype man, who is embodied by the Greek god Hermes. He's here for a good time and not a long time. Messenger archetype men are very social. They're social butterflies. They're very charismatic, sometimes a little bit slick, kind of salesman types. They're very charming, they're very witty, they're very easy to talk to, they're kind of in and out, they're always chasing the next high. The sixth masculine archetype is the scholar, which is embodied by the Greek god Apollo. The scholar archetype man values order and justice. Scholar archetype men, yes, they do value the pursuit of knowledge, but they also kind of see the world in a black and white way. They are lawmakers, they are organized, they are strategic, they have a plan. Scholar archetype men also tend to be very worldly and cultured. They also appreciate beauty and art and culture. And last but certainly not least, we have the reveler archetype man, or sometimes I like to think of him as the rock star archetype man. The reveler archetype man is embodied by the Greek god Dionysus, who is the Greek god of religious ecstasy and wine. They are a little bit misunderstood. They go against the grain. They're a little bit rebellious. Reveler archetype men also tend to be a little bit more spiritual or mystical. They are the complete opposite of a more traditional values, conservative type of man.